Yo, I thought you were gonna have the stream intro, but I guess not. So is this thing on?
Let's go.
Yeah, I guess we are live. I thought I had another 60 seconds. Um what's good, everybody?
Man, I tell you what, people are so wound up over this NFL season getting ready to start. I cannot believe all the people that have been hitting me up on DMs talking about stuff. It's everybody's alive again since football's back.
Um yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel like I pretty much have not been alive since the Super Bowl, and now I have risen from the dead. And it's football eve, and I am so happy to be here. I've kind of been like in hiding. I know we've come through over the summer a little more than usual, but other than the couple days here and there, I've kind of just kept just doing my own thing and hanging out. But the closer we get to football, the more excited. We did uh our preseason record predictions. The video came out yesterday. If you have not checked that out, go ahead and make sure you do so, because that was pretty fun. But working on that kind of took me into the place that I needed to be to like get ready for football season. And I feel like I'm hitting this season differently. I know we do it every year, but this year specifically, like I took myself like away from the world and like kind of put like locked into nothing but working on that and like thinking about that. And so like it's kind of really boosted like um where I wanted to be like getting into football season. And so like I'm excited. I feel like my body language is not screaming excited, but like I'm a different kind of excited this year.
The only thing I can say is that I went back and reviewed after we released the video yesterday, and that felt like it was some of the best stuff that you and I have done. It felt like we were kind of coming into a new level. So I think this year we're going to make a lot of people angry in here with some of the picks that we're going to make. But I think we've got some good insight going, and I'm ready to have some fun with it.
No, yeah. No, this year's different. I don't know what it is, but everybody in the chat right now, and I'm gonna run through it real quick because I saw Grange pop in and Sports Cat's in here. Mary Beth, hello. Thank you for hanging out with us. And mostly Chasing Miss Charlie and Chris is here. Don't forget about Chris. Everybody else that hasn't said anything in the chat, like we appreciate you being here. Like you hear it here first. Like this season's gonna be different. I don't know how. I don't exactly know what that means, but like it's in the blood. It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. We're hitting this year differently.
Yeah, I think the family's growing a little bit. I think everybody's kind of I think our core group is what really makes it special, and those that have been here every year, that's the main reason when we come back, it's like seeing family, and then we get to say our highs and smile, and then we get to figure out who we're going to tick off first.
It's
And
probably gonna be Chris.
and I was getting
Uh,
ready to say it's most likely going to be Chris this year, but hey, that's okay.
But anyway, we got a little sappy sentimental. Also, I want to highlight this comment. Munsley said, Alex is like a bear. In the off season, she just crawls into a cave and sleeps. I mean, I've had a rough off season, but that's pretty, spot on of how I took this year's off season. I literally climbed into a cave and nobody saw me for a couple months.
Dude, that is
Uh,
straight up on the money right there.
I don't mind being a little bear though. Like bears are cool. Mary Beth said Mr. Shane's team is gonna win this season. We'll see. I love
We're
that
hoping.
Mary Beth has a picture. We're talking about bears. Her profile picture is a picture of a little bear. I love that. But
It's
I hope the Bengals have a good year. We need more gaming streams. Yeah, I just need to be more mentally sound. And I put if the people who do hang out with me on the gaming side, I've noticed I haven't been there in a month or two, and I kind of took a step back to kind of put myself in the right place to be ready for today, right now, what we're doing right this second. And so that's where that break came from. I was starting to get a little overwhelmed, with everything. And so I was like, I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to spend the next month and a half, 2 months, like doing nothing but like preparing my mind to, for a full football season. And so that's what I did. So I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. Everybody, don't forget to sign up for the CBS Pick'em Challenge. It should be pinned at the top, also in the description.
The
Join the
link
Discord.
is not in the chat because the link's too long. But the link for it is in the description. So make sure you guys do that. You can go
Yeah,
ahead. But I just wanted to you said the link's in the chat. The link is not in the chat. The reminder is in the chat.
yeah. Okay. Well, the reminders in the chat. I think most everybody in here is probably signed up. We have a few new faces that I know has joined thus far, so it's going to be a little bit bigger of a group this year. Also, the Discord, uh, harass us in the Discord. Sign up for that as well. And post anything that you want to post about. We have different categories for that, and I'm ready to start getting some picks. And let's get this season underway. We get to start absolutely in Kansas City this week. Um, get to raise the banner, and you also get to see Baltimore come to town after you literally humiliated them on their home field.
They brought backup this time. They brought Derrick Henry.
Well, there was such a lack of a run attack in that game. I feel like that's probably one of the main reasons that they went out and got Derrick Henry was because of what happened in that AFC Championship because Lamar didn't trust his running game.
Yeah, that game was a weird game. It felt like an AFC North divisional game. Like that's the kind of vibe that Chiefs and Ravens playoff match kind of gave. It was a low score, kind of brutal. Every single play mattered, and defenses were playing well. Not as much run game as you'd like.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like Chiefs. It's a lock. All I'm going to say is Chiefs, but I don't feel like it's a lock after what we did last year during our banner drop against the Lions, which that was Kadarius Toney's fault and he's no longer here, so it doesn't matter, but it's obviously there any given Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Friday, it doesn't matter. Do I have faith? 100%. I do think the Chiefs are not going to do what happened last year. They're not going to get humiliated on their banner drop night and come away with a big AFC win. I think this is an important matchup that people will talk about at the end of the year.
Yeah, because it's really a week one matchup that really could have some serious implications on the end of the year. As you found out when we went through our picks yesterday, going through our divisions, one game here or there means the world of difference in seeding when it comes to the playoffs. Both of these teams should be in the playoffs, barring unforeseen disasters. And
Injuries.
this game could weigh very heavily on that. So that's why it's pretty exciting to have that as the first game.
Okay, well, we know what my pick is, so let's hear yours.
Well, I thought long and hard
Well,
about this game. And as much as I think that Lamar and the Ravens can come in here and compete and get a win on the road, I just can't see it happening. I think the loss of Patrick Queen and the loss of Geno Stone, respective linebacker and safety, I think is going to make that defense a little bit more vulnerable. I think the tight end, I think Kelsey's going to have a big game. I think they're going to pound the ball. I think they're going to try to beat Baltimore at their own game. And with the big thing that I have to say about that is going back to the AFC Championship game, the only thing Lamar Jackson wanted to do in that game was compete by throwing the ball against Kansas City. He wanted to be like Patrick Mahomes. He wants to be a passing quarterback, and I think that he needs to stay in his lane and do what he does best. That's the only way they're going to win games. Give me the Chiefs at home for a season opener.
You gave the Chiefs an 11-6 record, so I part of me assumed that you were gonna take Baltimore here in week 1,
Mm-mm.
which I ain't gonna ask, but Moving on to our next game is our first Friday game of the year, because it's not going to be our only Friday game of the year. We've got the Green Bay Packers heading to Brazil to meet up with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, Friday night football.
Excited? Uh, I really
Wait,
think.
I think this game's going to answer a lot of questions about both of these teams.
Well, you know what? Honestly, to me, this game feels like truly a toss-up. Honestly, I think the off season that Green Bay has had has been pretty amazing. I think the off season that the Eagles has been very change orientated. Two new coordinators, Saquon Barkley in the backfield. They traded with the Jets. They removed Hassan Reddick. And they took the guy from the Jets and they gave him an extension. You know, they reloaded their secondary in the draft. And you know what? That reloading of the secondary in the draft is going to be a big part of this game. I really don't like myself for anything in this game, but I've got the gut feeling that Howie Roseman and his Philadelphia Eagles are going to get a win in Brazil. As much as I would like to see Jordan Love and the Packers get it.
So, I normally do, a little bit better research of like the history of teams, the teams, how they perform. Normally we just have like London and Mexico are the two, but we're expanding, so we've got more cities they're going to. But normally I do that kind of deep dive of how these teams react not playing in this country and stuff. But I did not, and I did some thinking. And I kind of had that same weird feeling that you had about this, but I just feel like there is like so much going right for Philadelphia that I still feel like things are going to be wrong. Like, and I don't think like maybe all season. I think like this is going to feel like everybody's rookie year for a couple games, like until they get adjusted. They've got a bunch of new pieces on the defense. They've got Saquon. Their offensive line has shifted a little bit from last year. There's a lot of different, and so I feel like they're going to have a little bit of a slower start to the season. And that's why I think I'm leaning towards Green Bay. I'm not saying one team is better than the other, but something just keeps telling me like Philly's just not there yet. Like they might be a slow start team that ends up being completely dominant the second half of the year. But I feel like this Green Bay team's still young. That was the big talking point last year going into the playoffs and everything, like how young they were. They're still young, but I think they're the type of hit the ground running, like especially after how their season went last year. They're not going to roll over, and it's not like lose the Super Bowl and have a slump. Like they have something to like. They have motivation still, and being so young, like I feel like they're gonna hit the ground running hot. Do I know if they're gonna have a great season or not? No, but like these two teams feel the opposite of to me. Like I think Green Bay is gonna have a hot start either way, whether they sustain it or not. And I feel like Philly's gonna have a slow start. So I'm gonna take Green Bay in week 1 um to get the dub in Brazil.
Yeah, one last comment there is that I think Jordan Love is the real deal. I think he might. My guess was is that his setback, he was going to have a beginning of his sophomore slump. I know it's like his 5th year, but it's his 2nd year as a full time starter. He got paid in the offseason. I'm really curious to how he's going to react to that contract. That's always a big deal for me with these quarterbacks, especially one that hasn't been out there, let's be honest, for more than a season to have a really solid feel on how good he is. I think he's that good. I want to see how he plays with the big money under his belt.
No, that's totally fair. Also, shout out to Puppet. He said Brazil.
Brazil.
He does not like Brazil apparently, but appreciate you, Puppet. Thanks for swinging back by and saying hello. Um, our next game, we've got our first matchup on our first Sunday of the year, and I feel like you're going to be a little more excited about this matchup than I am, but we've got Pittsburgh heading to Atlanta to take on the Falcons.
I love this game.
I
I
see,
think
I hate this game. I hate it, but I knew you would like this game.
I love this game. Let's see. Arthur Smith gets to go back to Atlanta, who he was just kicked out of. Has got a lot to prove. Atlanta's retooled their defense. They've retooled their offense with a quarterback that's actually competent. They had a really rocky season last year. I feel like Atlanta is going to be in the conversation for the NFC when the season's done. My prediction for them was winning that division, pretty much going away. So guess what? I got to stick with it. But I don't think Pittsburgh is going to go in there and lay down. This feels like one of those games that is going to make me angry, and Pittsburgh's going to come away with the W. But as I picked it in the preseason, I like Kirk Cousins against this Pittsburgh defense. This Pittsburgh defense is going to be on fire with Patrick Queen back there in the middle. They gave Hayward an extension and Watt. Those three are going to wreak havoc as far as tackles go. It's going to be ugly, but I really expect Kyle Pitts to be the guy.
Kyle Pitts just got hurt today.
Are you kidding me?
Hamstring.
Oh, give me Atlanta, and I'll take the loss.
Yeah, I thought about that, and then as soon as you said his name, I remembered. Also, Grange sends the $2 says Arizona Cardinals 17-0.
Love his encouragement for that team.
Shout out to the loyalty. I feel like you feel, but I'm gonna do what you couldn't do, and I'm gonna take Pittsburgh on the road for no other reason than they're probably just gonna go in there and piss me off and then leave. And so Atlanta, the last couple years has been playing real tough ball at home. I still think they're gonna play real tough ball at home. Realistically, they should win this game by a respectable margin, but something just tells me they're not going to. And so, for no reason other than Pittsburgh is going to piss me off this year, I'm going to take the Steelers to win in week 1. And I don't like it for that matter. Like, I don't want anyone to get any wise ideas because I hate it, but I just feel like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Next game we got it to some probably doesn't sound that interesting to me. I feel like it kind of sounds interesting. We've got Arizona heading to Buffalo.
Wow, this game I think has the potential for an upset. I really do. I think Kyler Murray's got a retooled offensive line. I think in his second season, Jonathan Gannon has got a team that's ready to start the season hot. I didn't pick Arizona in this game because I feel like there's still a lot to overcome. I'm not 100% sold on their defense, and I think Josh Allen can put up some points at home. I think it's going to be a good game. I really hope Arizona wins and proves me wrong, but I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills at home by a point or two.
Yeah, the spread, I think when I looked at it, was like pretty high, and so I would at least take the points.
Listen, this is one of the games that I think I'm going to bet on for Sunday. I know we don't do any betting shows, but when I sit down to make my bets this Sunday, this is one of the games I think I'm going to take Arizona and the points on this one.
Also, Chris said you're getting Black Ops 6. Probably not. I don't want to spend that much money on a new game right now, to be honest. But I just didn't want to ignore it. Yeah, this is another kind of feels like the Steelers Falcons thing, except for the Buffalo Bills have this big, they're a really good team, which they are, but people have not seen them yet this year, so they don't know what they really look like. But like over the last couple of years, they've been a fairly dominant team. So you're like and then over the last couple of years, Arizona has been a fairly down team, and so you look at this and it's just like, yeah, Buffalo is gonna have him in, and they're just gonna run a score up on him, and I don't feel that way at all. It's only because it's week 1. Like, if this matchup was week 3, I'd be like, give me the Bills, let's move on, but something tells me that Arizona could play spoiler week 1, and I don't have the guts right now to take them. but I will not be surprised if they're one of the major upsets of week 1.
I agree. And the thing about week one is this, and week one teams have been preparing and hiding for this team for a long time. They've watched film. They have some extra special secret plays that they bring out in this type of game. And and Kyler Murray is that guy. He's got a strong enough deep ball. He's got a great new toy in Marvin Harrison Jr. I I am not dissing on the Cardinals in this game whatsoever. It just feels like a hard sell for me to pick that as for a pick 'em.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the matchups that I'm really rooting for the upset. I
Me too.
always root for upsets because they're fun and they disrupt the balance of everything, and that's what I love about them. It's just pure chaos. But this one feels like this is a game Arizona can win. It's an achievable goal. They just have to go do it. Um, I don't know. But moving on to the next, this one kind of is an interesting. I don't care about it personally, but it is an interesting matchup to me. We've got Tennessee heading to Chicago to take on the Bears.
Now, see, this one I feel the exact same way. I think that, the world, right now, the world is riding this Caleb Williams high. And I don't think that he's going to play to the standard that the world thinks he's supposed to play. That being said, the defense in Tennessee's been retooled. Uh, their secondary got a lot
Ladarius
stronger.
Sneed, my boy.
Snead is heading that crew back there. There's a couple other high round picks in that secondary. That defensive line is still solid. I think this game's going to be butt ugly. I think it's going to be nasty. Uh, I'm just not sold that Will Levis has enough to defeat this defense. The run game, Tony Pollard doesn't scare me like Derrick Henry did, even though I like Tony Pollard and Callahan's offense. Derrick Henry wouldn't have fit that mold. I just think this is going to be a tough one for Tennessee to win on the road. Give me the Bears, but it's going to be close.
I'm not doing it. I'm not giving Caleb Williams a 1-0 start in the NFL. I refuse to acknowledge it until it happens. At least Will Levis has played quarterback in the league. He's at least got that experience. Should the Bears win this game? Yeah, it's a home game. You should always win your home games. Let's be real. But I just feel like the nerves aren't going to be there as much for Will Levis that they will be for Caleb. Even if he plays it cool, like he's still got that, that first tackle, that first throw, first catch. He's got all of them to get over before he kind of gets settled into the league. And the Tennessee's has a pretty good defensive line. Not one of the best, but it's still a pretty good line that could give Caleb Williams some problems and get in his face early in a game and shake up a rookie. It's half of the sport is mental, And so I'm going to take Tennessee. They know what they have to do. They have to come out hot, whether they start on offense or defense instead of tone, if they want to go into Chicago and win this game. So the Bears easily could, they should, but I'm gonna ride with Tennessee that has a little bit more establishment within than having a rookie starting.
Yeah, my biggest problem with Tennessee is they've got a pretty good defense. Their defensive coordinator, it's his first year as a DC. I think his name is Wilson. He came over from Baltimore. Worked under Mike McDonald and Harbaugh, which he's gonna be really good. I'm just not sold that the defense is going to hold up. I do think Levis will put up some points. I just don't like this game.
I just think right now, since it's going to be week 1, and this is the only experience Caleb Williams is going to have compared to Levis having, half of a season or whatever last year. If this game came down to a shootout right now, I would take Will Levis with DeAndre Hopkins and the guys that they have.
Oh yeah, I love the
I'm not
receivers.
saying that there's anything wrong with the Bears receiving core. They've got plenty of pieces. But I'm just saying, if it came down to a shootout, because you're talking about defenses, which it makes sense, if you're like, oh, I don't trust this defense, then there's going to be more points scored and hence a more shootout type game. If that's what happens, I'm still taking Tennessee because I think he's already got a relationship with most of his receivers. Not saying that the Bears can't pull it off. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's week 1. We don't know anything. Did I miss the Panthers game? No, not yet. We're creeping up on it. Our next game, we are hitting your boys. We've got New England coming to town to take on Mr. Slim Shady Joe Burrow with probably no Jamar Chase. Not that I think that's a factor, but
Actually, Jamar was at practice today. He did participate. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there because today was the install for the game on Sunday. I don't know that they're going to have it worked out, but if they have it worked out, he will play. I don't really care if he plays. My goal is that, and Chris may love this.
Chris, if you're gonna have any bets, it's gonna be with him. I ain't betting you on this game.
But my thought was that, when you got 2 years left on your contract, regardless of who else is getting extensions, you should play on it and be happy that you got such a signing bonus for being a high pick. My goal is to have Cincinnati trade Jamar Chase to New England in the right here before this game because I think it would set a standard that you're going to play out your contracts. But anyway, that being said, I love Jacoby Brissett as a leader for that team right now. I love Drake May being the future of it, but the future is the future. It is not right now. The trading of Matthew Judon says that they're in rebuild. Give me the Bengals at home. However, I do not think they will win by the 8.5 spread.
Yeah, so the last 3 years, I have correctly predicted the Bengals week 1 game. And so this puts me in a tough spot of what do I do? This is the only game out of this entire slate that I sat down and actually put a lot of time and effort into thinking about. Okay, I like doing these pick'ems where I don't think about it because I feel like I have my best thoughts when we're like, okay, this game, what do you think about it? And so then I'm like, oh, let me think right now. But no, I've been thinking about this game all week long. And I was like, what am I going to do? And
what are you going to do?
I have not picked the Bengals for most of them, and they lost a lot of week 1 games. But this year, I am going to be a little different, and I'm actually going to take the Bengals to win. But I'm with you. I'm really nervous about that 8.5, 9.5 spread. It seems a little high, but it is not 10. It is not 10, and you guys know how I feel about 10-point spreads. So I'm going to ride with you boys to get a dub in week 1, with or without Chase. And I'm sorry, Chris, this was nothing against you. I gave your team a lot more credit this season than he did. So just keep that in mind when you start to throw shade at us. I gave him like a couple more wins than you did.
Yes.
And so, also, Bengals by 21. Yes. Also, what's up, Pizzle? What's good? My guy, can't wait to see you this week or this next week.
Getting close.
Okay, so now we're getting into a couple matchups that I'm excited about. This one's gonna be really easy for me, but we've got Houston heading to Indy. Go ahead.
Wow.
I'm already like, there's nothing that's changing my mind about this.
I flipping love this game. Houston headed to Indy. And I think more so than anything, when we ended the season last year, Houston and Indy played on the final week of the season. I've thinking decided how that division played out. I think that game did. Well, Anthony Richardson only got 4 games last year. He's had a lot of time to sit back and learn while he recovered from his injury. He still might be the most athletic quarterback in the NFL. I do personally feel that the Colts have been chewing on this one for a long time. I think the momentum that they're carrying over from last year, from losing that game with a backup quarterback, they only lost by like a point. I am going to take the Colts at home. I think Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson are going to surprise this Houston Texans team. Although Houston might be the best team in that division, I still think the Colts are going to win this game.
Also, Chris said, "If we win, I want to be mod." That's up to you, because like I told him last time, I said, "Yeah, if the Patriots beat us, then you can be a mod."
Bet, bro. You know what? You've paid your dues around here. That's a bet.
All right. The first bet on It's in the Blood this year is if Chris gets to be a mod.
Bet. I'll take that
Yeah,
bet.
the Colts are the only team that has not won a week 1 game in 10 years. The last 10 seasons are the only team to not scrounge up one week 1 win. And I'm not riding with them here either. They struggle early, and it's just one of them things. You know, they struggle in Jacksonville and they struggle in week 1. And so give me the Texans to keep going on what they built on last year. I don't think CJ Stroud's going to have that big of a sophomore slump. I feel like he's going to be riding a little high. I think he's too humble of a guy to let things get to him. And so I like the Texans here. There's no shade to the Colts, but you know, this is their first game back with Anthony Richardson. They spent over half of a season playing without him, so now they're getting adjusted to playing back with him again. And I'm going to give them a week or 2 to warm up to get to where they need to be. But I think the Texans start hot and make a statement.
Awesome.
The Strouds will remember this. Panthers are dominating the Chiefs this year. No cap. Probably. We play really horribly against bad football teams. So, that it happens. Moving on to the next. We've got Jacksonville heading to Miami. I'll go ahead and go first. Look, I don't trust Jacksonville. I don't trust them now. I don't trust them tomorrow. I don't trust them next week until they win like 10 games this year and convince me that they are good. I don't buy them. Miami, on the other hand, is good. Get me the Dolphins. I don't care what the score is. It's gonna be a convincing win.
I agree. Trevor Lawrence, I think, has more athletic ability than Tua. I think he's possibly a better quarterback in all the areas in the physicality. But here's the deal. The deal is that Tua has done well with that team. He's got both his wide receivers back on the field. His running game is phenomenal. They're at home. And although Trevor Lawrence may be a more prototypical quarterback, I think Tua gets the W at home. They just extended the coach. They just extended the quarterback. Miami will probably end up being the number 1 seed this year, just based on their regular season. Not saying they're making a Super Bowl yet, but they will probably win the division going away.
He said we were reviving 62-7. Like, you're probably gonna lose this game 62-7, my guy. Like, let's be honest here. And Miami's all healthy right now, other than someone said they lost Ramsey, but one guy is not going to be enough. I just don't think the Jags can outscore the Dolphins, no matter whose defense is better than whose. Like, at the end of the day, nobody's outscoring Miami in week 1. They'll probably put up the most points out of any team across all 32 this week.
That'd be a good bet.
I don't know. I feel very passionately about this game and the fact that Jacksonville has not made sense the entirety of their entire franchise. And they really don't make sense now because they're a 12-win football team right now. And I just don't buy it. Moving on to the next maybe trap game. I'm not sure. We've got the Panthers heading to New Orleans to take on the Saints.
Yeah, it could very well be a trap game. I think Dave Canales is going to improve Bryce Young. I think I think Carolina is an improved team. I also look at New Orleans as a team that is very experienced, minus some youth in the wide receiver, which doesn't hurt. I think Alvin Kamara is experienced. I think that this team is win now or probably be cleaned up next year, and we'll see a whole new regime in there. I do like the coaching down there. But I don't like Derek Carr. But I think he can get through this game. I still think the Panthers are in rebuild. Give me the Saints at home. I think they win by 10, but I don't want to say that.
You just said that. No, I thought about this one too, and then I started just now looking into the Panthers and Saints a little bit, and I don't know how the run game is gonna go starting off this season. For Carolina, with a bunch of running backs are injured right now, and also their tight ends are injured right now. So I feel like against a team with a defense like the Saints, no run game, it's gonna be a long day. And I think I don't know. I'm gonna take the Saints at home because I feel like this defense is going to be overwhelming for an offense that yeah, I don't know. I just feel like this is gonna be a tough week 1 game for the Panthers. Do I think they're gonna be all bad? No, I gave them a lot of credit this year, but I think this is a rough way to start your season, a divisional matchup, especially one with a really, pretty fortified defense. Derek Carr is not the guy that is going to take them places, but I think if Bryce Young doesn't have time to do anything all game long, it's going to lead to New Orleans scoring points.
Fair enough.
We'll revisit the Panthers in week 2 and see how we're feeling after we watch this matchup. The next game we have is we've got Minnesota heading to New Jersey to take on the Giants. I'll go first. Give me the Vikings. I don't care who's quarterback. Sam Darnold, I could quarterback. It doesn't matter. The Giants suck, and if they win more than 3 games this year, I'll be shocked. Realistically, I think they should come out hot as a home game against a not as dominant team right now. So yeah, they do have a chance to win, but I'm gonna take the Vikings on the road.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm not.
You're gonna go the way that I feel like I should be going.
I don't necessarily like Danny Dimes, but I really don't like Sam Darnold. I think he can operate in this offense. I think he can do fairly well there, but he is turnover prone, and Minnesota can capitalize on those, or the Giants can capitalize on those turnovers. Their defensive line is going to be pretty good, so he's going to be under pressure. I really don't like the Giants at their running back situation, but I do like that Danny Dimes is back, and he does have the element of the run game. Give me the Giants at home, just because I don't think Darnold can handle the pressure.
Yeah, no judgment for taking the Giants on that one. It feels like the right thing. It feels like what I should be doing, but man, I just am sick of the Giants until the Giants are relevant again. I'm sick of them. And, we'll find out. This is a good test for both of these teams, in my opinion, because they're not neither of them are dominant teams right now. And both of them have backup quarterbacks as their starting quarterbacks. So we're going to see, what they look like. And I think if I'm a fan of one of these two teams, this is a good game. But because I'm not, this game looks awful and I don't want anything to do with it. And that's the only reason. But if I was a Giants or Vikings fan, this is a good matchup for both of these teams.
Yeah, they both should feel confident.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. But I just can't do it. Yeah, I can't do it. No, I'm not ready to side with the Giants.
Daniel Jones, the $40 million backup.
I mean, isn't that what Derek Carr is too?
He's a $35 million backup. Give me Andy Dalton for $8 million.
Then you've got the same thing. Maybe better. Moving on to the next, we got AFC West matchup. We've got the Raiders heading to LA to take on the Chargers. This one's tough.
This is really tough. Um, honestly, I think by the end of the season, the Raiders might have they will be a top 5 defense before when it's all said and done, they will be a top 5 defense. I think adding Christian Wilkins on the D line, I think that they have the right guy as coach. I think they've got everything sorted out, except for I'm just not confident in their offense putting up points. Going into LA to play the Chargers, it's going to be a home game for the Raiders because Los Angeles does not support their teams very well.
And the Raiders have been in California a lot also.
And the Raiders have been in LA themselves, so it's going to be a Raiders home game. Everything in my brain tells me that the Raiders should win this game, but I don't see them scoring points. And even though Justin Herbert is hurt, I know that Harbaugh is going to go in ball control, and that's going to make Herbert a better quarterback by percentage. I think the Chargers get the win. Give me the LA Chargers.
Oh, I just don't know about this game. I don't trust these AFC West matchups. Like, I don't even trust them when my team's involved. Unless we're playing against the Broncos, like, I don't trust them. I'm just going to go ahead and take the home team. When I don't know what to do, I take the home team. I'm going to take the Chargers. I think the Raiders have a chance to go on a bit of a run this year and be a little special, like accomplish something together as a squad. But the Chargers are I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to
Does
say
Charger here's the question. You pick the team. Does Chargering still exist in 2024 with Brandon Staley gone? That's the question.
no, the Chargers have always chargered. Like that existed before Brandon Staley. The Chargers that's just a thing. They were
Chargering was amplified under Staley.
Yeah, but they were charging with Phillip Rivers too. It's just a thing. Yes, it still exists in 2024. And if they were gonna charge or something, this is a good game for them to charge her up. Or charge her away. Moving on to the next one. Very excited to talk about this one. We've got the Broncos heading to Seattle. It was the big, last year or the year before, there was the big talk with Russ, the trade. See how Seattle won that trade. They got all this stuff. And anyway, give me the Seahawks by like 14. I don't give rookie quarterbacks wins on their first starts.
That's probably pretty smart. I don't. I think I saw the stat today that first round draft pick quarterbacks in their initial start. I think it might have been first
wins.
overall. It's like 4-27 since 1971, something like that. Whatever the case may be.
I have made it very loud and known that I'm going to do everything I can to be awful to the Broncos this year, but I have a very good reason. This is not me just hating to hate. Is Seattle's hard to play in, and I don't give rookie quarterbacks wins on their first career starts.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that is why I did not pick the Bears.
Listen, we'll talk about what the Seahawks possess in this game. I think Sean Payton's going to have his defense ready. I think they're going to have a decent run game. I think they're going to go in there with a really good plan for Bo Nix. I don't think they're going to overextend him, but can Bo Nix make big plays as a rookie in Seattle?
Seattle's tough.
I don't think that's possible. It's going to be. I think it might be a rough start for him, but you know what? I get it. They got to play him because they're not going to play your guy, and they're not going to. And I don't think they're going to play Jared Stidham, so they're going to go with their rookie to try to develop him. I get it, but Geno Smith is capable of winning any game. He is inconsistent at times, but I love their running game. They got 3 running backs there that I would kill to have on my roster. I'd like Zach Charbonnet. They got the kid from Georgia, can't think of his name, that they drafted in the late round. He's probably the third string, and I can't get the other one in my name.
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker, yeah, they've got a great running game. Look at the receivers that Geno has to throw to. DK Metcalf is the ultimate target out there. I mean, and God, Jackson Smith and Jigba, that guy is probably just like Jamar Chase as far as what he brings to the table. And then, and I can't get the other one out of my name head either as a third. Yeah, Lockett is a Tyler Lockett reminds me of. I'm losing names today. Just went to the Titans, Tyler Boyd. I mean, he's got that same kind of, always seems to make the play. I feel like that team is ready to win some games. I just don't think Denver is going to be the team to beat them on their home opener.
Yeah, I haven't given Seattle a lot of credit this year, but I did put them in like that mid range. They're gonna win some games. They're not gonna be fighting for the first overall pick or nothing this year. Despite being in a tough division, like I still think they're gonna scrounge up a string of wins, and so, this is a good win for Seattle to go and get. And also, this is a good test for a rookie quarterback to get acclimated with the speed of the game. And listen, let's be honest, like rookie quarterbacks are not supposed to win their first start. They're just supposed to go and do their best.
I agree. I think Bo Nix is going to be a good starter. It's going to take a little bit of development.
I feel the same way. And yeah, don't worry, Broncos fans. I'll get around to just crapping on you to do it, But this week, I'm paying some respect to the fact that you do have a rookie quarterback. And even if you turn around and win next week, it doesn't matter. I will never pick a rookie quarterback to win their first career start. It's what I do. I've learned my lesson. I chalk this game up to coaching, to be honest. Yeah, definitely. Also, it's good to see you as well.
Yeah. Skater boy.
Moving on to the next, we've got Tom Brady's first game as a broadcaster, because that's all anybody's going to want to talking about this game. And this game is going to be the one game all week shoved down our throats. We've got the Cowboys heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Give me the Browns. Shake the core of the Cowboys to start the year off. They shouldn't win this game. This should be the Cowboys. I don't care that Tom Brady's a broadcaster. Good for him. I hope he does a good job. I hope he doesn't end up like some of them that are horrible. But yeah, the Cowboys should win this game. But I'm gonna take the Browns at home because I don't know, something special happens when the Browns play, week 1 games at home. Their crowd, their fans are loyal. It's loud. They've got a great defense, and they've had a whole offseason to figure out what they're going to do. So I'm going to take the Browns to upset the Cowboys in week 1.
The Browns will not have a running game minus Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is amazing. Nick Chubb is probably the best running back in the NFL.
Oh, you want to talk about Nick Chubb? I love that man.
Deshaun Watson has not shown the capability to beat a very high-powered defense like that yet, and he should be beating these teams. I hate to say this. Give me the Cowboys on the road. I think their defense is still really good. Mike Zimmer is a great DC. He will get the most out of that defense, and I believe CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott will have a nice game. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to run the ball. It's going to be in the air a lot. And it's probably going to be a little higher scoring, even though Cleveland has probably one of the better defenses out there. I still think the Cowboys get the dub.
No, I think that's the right pick, but something is screaming at me, telling me to take the Browns this week.
I thought about it. I just can't pick Deshaun Watson right now.
I don't want to, but it has nothing to do with him, to be honest. It's everybody else. It's the other 52 man that I'm picking. But
the problem is that if they could run the ball in this game, I would take Cleveland. But I don't think they can run the ball in this game.
No, I get that. I don't know. I think this is going to be a weird, slow game. It's going to be a defensive game.
It's probably going to be a lot like the San Francisco game in Cleveland last year, to be honest.
No, yeah. Well, that one wasn't slow at all. There was a lot of.
It was
I,
very
I
low
maybe,
score.
maybe I'm thinking of a different game, a
Yeah, it was
different
like
Cleveland.
16-14 or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. I think I was just mixing up games. Moving on to the next, and here's proof of what I just said about Denver. We're gonna talk about the Commanders heading down south to take on the Buccaneers. I love Jaden Daniels. I think he's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but I'm gonna take Shake and Bake and the Buccaneers to get a dub at home to kick off their season. I think this is a great matchup for a rookie quarterback to go have a test against a good football team and get acclimated with the league. Do I think they can win? Maybe. But, I don't pick rookie quarterbacks, even though he's my guy this year.
Yeah, this is not Todd Bowles' first rodeo. He's been, whether a defensive coordinator or a head coach, for a long time, over a lot of years, and he knows the best thing to do with a rookie quarterback, especially one that's super mobile like that, is lock him in and blitz. And you're going to see more blitz packages against Jaden Daniels on Sunday than you may see any other game this week, because Todd Bowles is not going to let him have time to beat him. Give me the Bucs at home. Baker's going to play good.
And anybody who does take the Commanders, I don't think it's a bad pick still. Because I really have a lot of respect for this Commanders team, and I think they're going to do some good things this year. But they do have a rookie. They're going to have a little bit of growing pains, and I think this is an excellent first game for him. That it's a game that you can walk away from and be like, okay, that's not a bad loss,
Yeah, Columbus, I agree. If he escapes the pocket, and runs, that is the
That's
X
the key.
factor in this
That's the
game.
key. Yeah, absolutely. They could pull off the upset. And I think they could. Any of these rookie quarterbacks could get wins on Sunday or whatever day they play. I think they all play Sunday, but I just have a hard time favoring picking them. We've never seen them, and so moving on to Sunday night football, we got the Rams heading to Detroit to take on the Lions.
I
I
think
I feel like I know where you're gonna go with this, so I'm gonna let you go ahead.
so. I think this is probably going to be one of the most exciting games of the week.
That's funny.
I think this is going to be one of the most exciting games of the week. I think this game has probably the most potential for high scoring. Detroit's done everything right this offseason to pursue their goal for a Super Bowl. They lost on a bad coaching decision and a little bit of just not having the experience last year. I love the Rams. Sean McVay is probably my favorite coach in the NFL just because he can develop players at such a high level. I think the Rams are going to be very close to winning their division this year, but I think the Detroit Lions are going to win their division this year because they're going to hold home court. No shade to Matt Stafford and the Rams, but give me Detroit in a high-scoring game. I'll take the over.
Yo, I'm actually surprised. It makes me want to pick the Rams just because you didn't. You know what? I'm going to actually, and I'm gonna pull and dig in my bag to figure out how I'm gonna justify it because I was locked in on the Lions.
Would you like to hear my justification if I was to pick the Rams?
No, I don't need to because I'm gonna make it up as I go. No, but so talking about the Lions, they're at home. That gives them 3 points, that's what we always say. A home team gets 3 points. And I think they're a good organization, but my reasoning for them to lose in week 1 is last year left a bad taste in their mouth and they're kind of hung up on it. And the Rams were starting to build something special. They were starting to build something special as the season went on. It took a little while to get there because they had the slump the year before with injuries. Then they got, Puka. They got this Kyron Williams kid. They got a lot of pieces this young core they're building around Matthew Stafford that they're building up. Their defense had a slow start as well and started tightening up as the season goes on. I think Sean McVay is smart enough to see that they have something special in that team, and he's only added to that since then. and I think they're going to come out firing and ready. And so I'm going to take the Rams to get the upset. I think the Lions are going to win, but I'm surprised he didn't take them, so I'm going to.
Love this game, and just be
This
honest.
is one of my favorite matchups of the week by far.
I actually love the Rams as a team, but I love Detroit too.
Yeah, other than maybe like the Texans and Colts game, I feel like, and maybe the Commanders and Buccaneers game. That game honestly could be a lot better than it sounds. This is probably, I know what I should say. Oh, of course, my team. No, I'm scared out of my mind about that game. Like, I can't say it's my favorite. Is it a good matchup? Yes. But is it no, because I'm scared. But yeah, I'll take the Rams just to be different because you know how we do things over here. And I swore on my life that you were gonna do it. So I'm happy with whoever wins this game because whoever wins this game deserves to win this game,
For reals.
It's a good matchup. Moving on to our last one. Aaron Rodgers returned to football. The Jets head out west as far as they can possibly go to take on the San Francisco 49ers, who just got upset in the Super Bowl. So both of these teams are in a weird spot coming off last year. The Jets were just distraught. They lost Aaron Rodgers after 3 plays, and then obviously how the Niners ended their season. Niners probably feel a little bit better than the Jets do. But the Jets are probably very happy to have him back. So we just got to see if he's going to perform. I had a really tough time with this game. And not because of any specific reason other than the fact that it is week 1. Obviously, we know Aaron Rodgers is going to be seeing ghosts because Monday Night Football killed him last year. And he's probably seeing other stuff, but that's by choice. And so, we don't know what he's seeing. And then, and then the Niners, are they going to slump, right? There's always the question, and this is not a knock to Brock Purdy, but teams after losing the Super Bowl have a harder time bouncing back sometimes than, a team that lost in an AFC NFC championship. Like, it's kind of a different bounce back, but sometimes they have a slump. Do the Niners start slow this year because this Jets defense is good enough to keep any team at bay? And also, like I said a few weeks ago, and also in the preseason predictions just the other day, I was talking about Aaron Rodgers. All he has to do is be average to win 9 games. And so this is an interesting matchup because it could go either way easily. And I'm going to tell you what I want to happen and who I'm going to pick. What I want to happen is no matter who wins, it's a complete blowout. I don't care if the Jets win or if the Niners win. I hope whoever wins by 35 points. I want this to, it's not going to happen at all. We're going to be lucky to get 35 points out of this game. But, that is what I want. I don't ever root for blowouts, but this chance, I do. I want it. It's Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, it doesn't matter. I want someone to blow out the other team. But I'm going to take the Niners at home because I have no idea what to do here.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest question mark. What are we actually going to get from the Jets? We know the Jets have a very competent defense. We know they have a very competent quarterback to go out and make big plays when he stays on the field. Has the offensive line for the Jets been solved? I don't know. So far they have not solved it with Hassan Reddick, which would have made me think a little bit harder about taking them if he was on the field because he is a game-changing defensive end. And then you got Trent Williams that comes to an agreement today and gets 3 years and $80 million at 36 years old. He's like Andrew Whitworth all over again. But he is important to be on the field. When he's on the field, Brock Purdy is 10 points higher in his QBR. Just facts. So with all of that being said, being the home opener, Brandon Ayuk got paid. Everybody, Christian McCaffrey should be ready to go. I think the Niners have just a little more offense than what the Jets have right now. I think their defenses are comparable. Give me the Niners at home. I think they are the best team in this game.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. This only feels safe. It feels safe taking the Niners. The Niners clearly are the best team in the NFC until someone dethrones them, this year. And so it's not like they lost a lot in this offseason. It's not like they, like talking about Buffalo and their secondary, they dismantled their whole defense. It's not that kind of situation. Like, they still got most of their guys. They're all their core guys are still there. They, the guys that needed to get paid got paid. They still got their quarterback. They still got, their all pro running back. I don't know. All things are pointing right, and that's the only reason that I got hesitant. Is everything is pointing right for San Francisco? Is why I almost took the Jets. Like, that's the only reason. No other reason. I think the Niners are the better football team right now, but it's week 1.
Yeah.
Rodgers gave us 3 plays last year, week 1 Monday Night Football. He's going to give us 300 points in this year. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be some dumb stuff. You just know. But also, Aaron Rodgers historically is not very good against the 49ers. So there's that too.
I really felt like this week's slate of games was one of the hardest weeks. Week 1 is always the hardest to pick.
It's hard because it's week 1. Like, that's why it's so hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, and just so everybody is aware, we will be here Thursday, Friday, Sunday night, Monday night, and then we will be back in here next Wednesday for picks for week 2.
We might be here Tuesday too.
And we might be here Tuesday too. We're gonna be here a lot.
You're gonna be sick of us, and that's okay. You just make sure you come in here to tell us that you're sick of us. And we'll appreciate that. But yeah, before we get off here, I know I said it already, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it tomorrow, and I'm going to say it Friday, and I'm going to say it Sunday, and I'm going to say it Monday. I'm going to say it every day, probably all season long. But be sure to get into the description and get our CBS Pick'em so you can get in early so you don't miss out on very many points. So you can compete alongside of us. I already made the statement. If anybody misses week 1, I will add whatever the lowest amount of points are to get you, back. But we've got about 20-ish people in there right now. And so that have submitted picks. There are people in here that are in this chat that haven't put their picks in for the week. So if you are interested in doing so, make sure you do that. And if you haven't yet, it's totally free. We give out stuff at the Super Bowl. We announce who we give out things to at the Super Bowl, and we pick all season long, and it'll make you feel good because sometimes we're not that good. Sometimes we're all right, but sometimes we're not that good. So it's going to make you feel good about yourself if you beat us. And that's even another reason to do it, to make Alex look dumb. And I'm all here for it. So the only way you can do it is if you click that link and join our pick'em pool.
For real. Hey, I'm super glad to be back. Everybody, if you didn't get a chance to check out our video from yesterday, I posted it in the chat. Stop over there and you can fast forward to your team and how we feel they're going to end up for the year. Leave a comment. Tell us how much you disagree.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, that video was a lot of fun to make. Also, you know what? Just kind of go through and reacclimate yourself. Hit a playlist, watch some of my shorts that I put up for most of this year. I know not everybody gets a chance to see those. They're kind of quick and they're kind of brief, but we're really trying to promote ourselves. So
yeah, Pablo Blood's working overtime, putting out some really
not so good and
head
good.
on a stake takes from me to try to get people mad at me, and I gave him permission to do so don't come after him, but he's working really hard posting shorts, so make sure you check those out. Happy football eve, everybody. I am extremely excited to be here. I can't wait to be here, and I already told my boss that if the Chiefs lose their second week 1 Super Bowl banner drop in a row, that I wasn't coming to work on Friday. So let me know which ones I should share out. I don't know, so ask him. But the video, if you want to share anything out, the video that we posted yesterday is the one for sure, like the full length video.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you, Charlie.
Yeah. Also, Charlie will probably be a new frequenter in here. very, very awesome person and very lovable. Lives in the San Diego area. I think she's a little disgruntled that the Chargers are not there anymore.
I mean, you don't have to tell people where she lives, Dad.
Area. That's a big area.
That is a big area, but I feel like that's her story to tell. Also, mostly, there have been a couple different new names in here, so I don't know which one is you. But it does not say mostly, and it does not say Sword of the Spirit. So it's one of them are probably you. But like I said, I don't know. I don't even know your real name, so it's probably in there. But like I said, we did have like 4 or 5 new people, and one of them, like, I know who it is. It's Mickey, but the rest of them, I have no idea. And so, oh, and Charlie, because Charlie's name is Charlie, and she's new.
And she hates Spanos.
If you ever come to St. Louis, just yell, "Hey, Dave, I'll buy you a drink." Dude, if I yelled, "Hey, Dave," in St. Louis, Missouri, you know how many white guys would turn around? Like, how would I know it's you? I'm not going to go to St. Louis and yell, "Hey, Dave." But I'll send you a message the next time I'm there. Because the next time I'm there, I'm probably going to actually go there. Like, I'm not just going to drive through. Or I can pick you up on my way to Kansas City, and then I'll buy you a drink in Kansas City. And barbecue.
Hey, that sounds like a win right there.
I'm just saying, if anybody wants to road trip to Kansas City with me this year, let me know, and I'll go with you.
Mostly is Anthony.
We have barbecue here. Yeah, I know, but it's not from Kansas City. It's from St. Louis. No, Dave, I just have not had the money or time to go out west lately, and so, but I'm gonna hopefully before football season ends, I'll be out that way one time. Road trip to Denver. Don't even start that in here right now, dude. I don't want to commit a felony in Denver. Like, Kansas City's on the way. I wouldn't make it past there anyway. I would just stop. Like, I don't want to go, like, break into Mile High Stadium and act a fool. Like, I'm just not going to go there.
Ugh.
There ain't nothing there for me. Except for maybe South Park. South Park, Colorado is the only thing that's going to ever take me to Colorado.
Let's ride.
No, Let's Ride is dead. It's dead. It's dead. Dave got T-Pain stuck in my head. Listen, Dave, I'm going to try and make something work. Life's just wild right now. Everybody, we're going to get off here. You got anything before I close this down?
No, see you guys tomorrow night, man. Let's go.
All right. Make sure you get into the CBS, and if any of you are in here that are not in the CBS by the time I start my stream tomorrow and you show up tomorrow, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna remember who it was, and I'm gonna come after you. So unless you tell me why you're not going to, but I appreciate you all. Yeah, see, look, Charlie gets it. I like her. Let's keep her forever. Let's keep her forever. We appreciate you all getting the CBS. Make sure you like, subscribe, check out our video from yesterday or our shorts, one or the other. We'll be happy with either, and let us know what you think. But that's all I got. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Happy football eve. You guys are the best. We love you. And we'll see you on the next one.
Hoo day.